I think this brings up an interesting topic as fathers. Like when we see certain habits in our kids, do we accept that, hey man, this is just the way my kid is, and then we provide, as you said, the community or the support to help them win despite them being this way, right? Or maybe not the word despite, but we provide them with the resources to be successful, or do we watch that thing and be like, nah, I want to do something intentionally to change that behavior?
I've seen it as a coach so many times where um, in two different perspectives, where a father is trying to be everything to a kid, right? To hold him accountable to everything. And the father ain't really good at some of the stuff he's trying to hold him accountable to, right? I've seen parents who know that, then say, yeah, I'm bringing them here to this program because I need them to a space and to help. So you understand what I'm saying? Like you can't do everything. You can't be the accountable partner for everything.
Mother's son, but you're my mother's son. Cause though your mother has sons, she got other sons. All your brothers call me brother, I'm the other one. And you showed up to be a brother, but I wanted one.
What we all needed is more than just a podcast.
It's a community of strong individuals connected on the basis of friendship,
transparency, accountability, healing, and growth. Come join the conversation and share in the space that makes us all better.
Our hope is that you find something that you need.
Real friends. Real friends. Where would I be without my Hey son, who gon' ride for me like my day one?
Hey, welcome back to the What We All Needed podcast. This is Colin _DCLA, the dope educator, professional collaborator. I'm trying to be like Ali today. I don't know. And good father, friend, dad, all the things. Who else we got on here?
It's Sean Nichols Sr., half mad, half amazing, true teller, but never beyond approach or reproach.
Yep, it's your boy at the Noble One, the kingdom builder, the culture cultivator. Nah, man, I ain't the real estate innovator. I'm the leader of my household. Nah, I'm just fucking with y'all, man. Good morning. What's up, good people?
I love it. Good energy, y'all. This is Yusha Asad, intuitive leader, sent to elevate the condition of my people. And whether we do that through speaking, training, coaching, performing, it's just all about doing the work to help us get to the promise that the Most High got for us. So that's what I'm here to do. What's up? Good morning.
I'm gonna have me a thing one day, man. Cause I like how y'all have y'all set ones, and then when Still Standing did their episode, they all had like they set ones, they line names. I'm gonna have mine together.
You did have something, Colin. You had that turtle shirt that you had on. But first of all,
they go to hate. They go to hate.
What happened to the dope educator and all that other stuff?
I'm gonna keep dope educated. I don't want to sound like you though. I want it to be me, and I'm like, it's just gonna sound like I'm biting Ali if I do all these rhymes. I'm gonna figure
don't do rhymes, but you gotta brand yourself.
I'm gonna write it out. I'm gonna write it out.
You got a business, man, but be a business, man.
I'm always accountable too, man. It's like your 8th time saying this.
I know, right? Me and ChatGPT about to work that thing out. It's all right. It's on the way. First of all, it wasn't a Ninja Turtle shirt, Sean. So before we started recording, I had on my 20-year high school.
I don't want to tell them what that shirt looked like.
Suitland high school shirt on.
What made you change it?
Because y'all was some haters. So nobody looked at it first. I'm just gonna wear it and see what the guys say and see like if they like it, if they think I should wear it, if I shouldn't wear it. You know, I just wanted it's going, a DMV repping for my high school, and nobody said nothing. So then I asked for feedback, and Sean and Yusha proceeded to light me up for no reason.
You still got time? Do you still got time to give all your classmates feedback on that shirt?
No, man, that was the shirt we created in 2000.
It was a graphic tee from 2000. So if anybody can imagine what a graphic tee from back then looked like, that's what it looked like.
I'm about to get it. Hold on.
Every time I actually did think it was a Ninja Turtle shirt.
Hey, yo. So Cause we gonna rep. I'm repping for Suitland Rams class of 04.
Why
Obviously
isn't the
not if
joint
you
not
change your
red?
code.
Why is it green and not red,
Our
dog?
class colors. Y'all ain't had class colors out in Mount Rainier.
That shit look like Sarasville.
Well, that's where my sisters went to school. All right, look, boom.
Ninja Turtles.
They don't look like Ninja Turtles,
Would've
man.
never thought that was Suitland, Maryland, dog. Sorry.
That's my class shirt. We had class colors.
Yeah, I don't like it, man.
That's trash.
Well, we had the best class shirt that year, and we got it remade for the 20-year reunion. You a hater. Y'all some haters.
I don't like it.
But I decided not to wear it because you should say it looked like a bunch of gay men on there.
Oh, and then you
Yeah.
put on your class color jacket. That was cute.
Yeah, nah, this
Okay, I
my
got it.
this my scroller's coat. You know. Right here.
Scroller's coat.
Yeah, you don't know about that. None of y'all know nothing about that.
I guess I don't.
Mm.
My grandfather do, but it's okay.
Your grandfather knew?
Nope.
Yeah, see, you don't know. You think I'm talking about some Masonic stuff. You don't even know. Hey,
Yeah.
all right. Oh, we rambling, y'all. Shaw, we ready for this or that?
Hey.
Yeah, man. If y'all ready, I'm ready. Let's roll into the game. So today we're gonna play this or that. Just going over the rules. I'm gonna ask a question. The first part of the question will be A. The second part will be B. If you all could entertain the rules of the game by answering definitively, I'm gonna count down 3, 2, 1, and you can provide your answer.
You already know who you're talking to.
First question. This or that. Would you rather raise kids in the era that you grew up in or in today's era, today's world, today's society?
Hey, so I see that y'all found us, man. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. Welcome. We love you guys. We would love for y'all to stay connected as well. So please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. This is what we all needed.
Again, would you rather raise kids in the era that you grew up in or in today's world? 3, 2, 1. All right, so we have 3 A's and we have a B. The B is from Yusha. Why would you rather raise kids in today's world?
Next question.
What?
The nigga that like to talk don't want to talk. Cool. All right. So, would you rather have your kids be your kids' first teacher, or would you rather social media be the first teacher? So again, would you rather have your kids' first teacher be you or social media? 3, 2, 1.
It should be a no-brainer. Okay.
All right. So
Obviously.
unanimous would rather we be the first teacher.
Is there any reason why somebody particularly says that? I'm just,
Not publicly.
Yeah, people do it for sure.
People do it for sure. People put their kids on their iPad and leave them there as a babysitter. And so we got to realize social media ain't just what we think it is. It ain't just TikTok. Social media is Roblox. Social media is YouTube comments, TikTok comments. You know what I'm saying? People do it every day. They leave their kids on their iPad and be like, play with this while I do something else.
Facts. I'm gonna get into that today.
Next question. Would you rather your child be street smart or book smart? Again, would you rather your child be street smart or book smart? 3, 2, 1. All right, so again, we have 3 A's, and then we have a B from Yusha, who would rather his child be book smart. All right.
Are you going next question that?
Yeah, I'm a next.
I wouldn't go next question. The first one.
All right. Would you rather raise your child with old school discipline or modern gentle parenting? Again, would you rather raise your child with old school discipline or modern gentle parenting. 3, 2, 1.
I don't know why the word gentle gave me like a negative connotation. Like I ain't soft though,
So,
but
this is probably pretty interesting for those that are listening. We have unanimous where we all would rather raise our children with modern gentle parenting. I would think that someone that's watching could assume that we, at least one of us, would have chose modern. I mean, I'm sorry, old school parenting due to our age, right? Um, Colin, why would you rather raise your kids with modern gentle?
man, I, I just don't. For old school discipline with a little more physicality to it, I just don't trust myself with that. Like I'm gonna get emotional. It's gonna get too deep. I think we talked about this before on here. So like, let me just go with some new methods and some new strategies. Plus, just as an educator, like I know all the research based stuff when it comes to what actually gets results when it comes to redirecting behavior. So I know it works, and it ain't the old school way. But every once in a while, might just gotta go upside that head one time. I got you. I mean, you with me, Sean. We got these teenage boys in the house right now, man. They like you don't want me to pick. Hey, man, y'all making me like leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but immediately what came to my mind when it's old school versus modern, even though I still believe in discipline, and at times I use discipline when discipline is needed, I still communicate with my kids. And that's the
Yeah.
modern part for me. Like when I hear old school, I hear do what I say, not
Yeah,
not what I do. I hear do it because.
just
And
because.
that don't work. I know that ain't work for me. So
Well,
Facts.
what's the gentle side of it though?
I think the gentle could be communication. The gentle could be transparency in
Mm,
your own testimony, your own walk, and why you should not scrape your knee. Because I've scraped it before. You know what I
nice.
mean? Like, so I think that could be the gentle, but the modern is not that mindset. That I don't really know if that works for too many people, and the people that immediately came to my mind that it did work for have a different type of spirit that's not a fighting spirit, if that makes sense. It's like they conform
Mhm.
and they just
Yeah.
do. They just do. They just live. They just exist. They get
Yeah.
a good job. They work. They don't live out their dreams. They don't. You know what I mean? Like they don't aspire for anything higher than that. Like those are that immediately came to my mind. Those are the people that were able to conform to that modern discipline mindset. I mean, that old school discipline mindset.
In relationship to what Shauna said, the old school discipline mindset for our parents was based off fire and brimstone church teaching or church preaching, right? It was based off fear teaching. And I specifically used the fire and brimstone teaching of the church, right? So not all teachings of the church, but it was specifically that fire and brimstone, you need to get yourself together, you're going to die and go to hell teaching. That was really where that, along with like remnants of slavery, is where that old school parenting model come from. The practice was on fear. It was like, let me make you afraid of me. Let me make you afraid of the world, you know what I'm saying, in order to protect you. And so it's like, I know what's best for you. I'm trying to keep you from this. It wasn't like this space of like freedom and exploration. But I got that growing up. Like my mother was like fear, and my father was like, do what you want to in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like you own it. But he didn't say it. Like my father didn't have the language to be like, do what you want to in the world, you own it. My father just did it. You know what I'm saying? He just moved like a person who did what he wanted to in the world. And I just got a chance to watch it. So my father, really for real, who was older than my mother, he was born in 1941. He had a gentle parenting style. Though he wasn't gentle. He just picked and played too much. His parenting style was gentle, but him personally, he picked and played too much. So he could not be parenting you, but still like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I,
Just
I,
just off the hump.
yeah. Well, Don, since we are talking about how we were raised and what that looked like versus a modern and old school, let's fast forward 20 more years to where we all are fathers, right? And there's a lot of shit going on in the world today. Social media, and we talking about boys dealing with hormones and us having to deal with their testosterone too and our own testosterone, right? I mean, Colin, you talked about I don't have boys. So let's break it down, right? Like for me, I'll start on terms of like what I'm dealing with as a fatherhood currently. Man, I have 2 girls and I'm in a house full of women. And the estrogen levels be high. You know what I'm saying? And as much as discernment as I have, you know what I mean? It's still hard to read every emotion and spirit and energy in here, right? And then having a preteen, Logan's, she 12, she turning 13. And the other day, she had a little attitude on me, and I think y'all heard me in the previous post. I'm not a physical person, like in terms of I don't believe in beating my daughters, and we can get into that for whatever reasons. But this particular time, she was being disrespectful to her sister. She was being disrespectful to her mother, and I swear to God, I was trying my best to mind my business. But you know how it is when you the father, you the man of the household, and you hear something out of line, out of pocket, you kind of be like, "Whoa, wait a minute, time out, man. Let me holler at you." So I pull her to the side, and she's still giving me energy, y'all. Like she's still giving me energy.
I'm boiling right now listening to the story.
All of a sudden, she just like, and like walks away. And my thermostat just went like. And while she's walking away, I grab her and I'm like, pow, on her butt. She turns around and like she just balls out crying. And I'm gonna tell y'all, my insides was crying too. Cause I'm like, I broke a rule for one to myself. And then she felt that rule being broken. And man, that shit just broke me down. Like the whole day was bad for me. I was calling her, apologizing. We was apologizing. But yeah, man, that's just trying to balance out the emotions of my girls, and then the fact that the other side of her preteen is the fact that she's dealing with like boys, like heavy. Yeah,
You can't, bro. We gotta sit still for a second,
yeah, it's
cause
a
you're
lot,
not
man.
about to
It's a
just
lot, man.
unload that and then
It's
like
a
just
lot.
jump the
It's a lot.
boys.
Let me ask, if I can, let me ask. I got 3 questions for you. One, would you have preferred for your wife to have been the one to do the discipline in that moment? 2, where was your wife? And 3, what did she end up saying about the situation?
No, I'm gonna start backwards. She ended up telling me to suck that shit up. That's what I should have done. And that I can't have her manipulating emotions in X, Y, and Z.
That's what I was gonna say too, dog. Like, isn't it our place as men, right? And I think about the balance of men and women in the household and why our kids need both. But like, isn't it our place as men to be the structure and the correction in the household so that our kids, especially our daughters in this case, right, can feel their emotions and have a safe space to feel, but also know that like your feelings can't dictate how you respond.
Well, I don't know that to be the case though, because I think we might all have a difference of opinion. But that is the questions that I was asking as a lead up to what you're saying right now.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with what y'all are leading to. I do think too the question about what Sean was saying, the modern approach and the gentle approach applies here. And then it also applies in terms of knowing your child, right? I now know, right? She doesn't need physical enforcement to course correct. That's the same way. Like I don't, I come from a certain area where you pledge, and I never believed in physical enforcement, right? So that's just where I come from. My dad never put his hands on me, so it just looked different.
I don't know. Yeah, in my mind, I go back and forth with it because, like I said, I don't trust myself on the physical side, so I try to stay away from it. And at the same time, I'm honest with my kids in that, like, listen, I desire to not put my hands on you, you know. However, like, there are certain things that could happen that I either one may logically decide this is a moment where it constitutes me put my hands on you, or two, I'm so triggered in the moment that I can't stop myself from doing it. And I'm honest with them and telling them this because I wanted to give them the opportunity to, like, let's not test that out. You know what I'm saying? Like I want you to think twice about doing something so egregious that, like, that he might put his hands on me on this one, like, or I might, or for your safety, like, I might need a call. And I think I even said this to my son one time, like, I might need to call him in advance while he's still at work and drop this on him so he has time to cool off. This might not be a face to face thing now, you know.
You
My question to Ali, because in my mind I'm like, I mean, that's kind of God, like, right? Like, God ain't gonna spank us every time, but every once in a while He is, you know, just to remind us what's up,
Yeah.
like that structure piece. But I just heard you say I don't think she needs that. So next time, like, what is your moving forward? Like, what is your plan the next time? And it's going to be something different, but those same emotions are evoked. Is that level of disrespect? Like, what is your strategy next time?
Taking the doors off the hinges. I'm taking everything that she likes away from her. Her privacy is what she holds like number one now. Preteens, I don't know if y'all know, but like they like to close the door and they like to be in a corner somewhere. So the next thing will be, now I know that, right? It'll be her privacy.
Mm.
I respect that.
as y'all was talking, even with that, right? It's called. So I was like, as fathers, dog, like our kids really get the opportunity to see the worst of us. And I
Man,
say that because most of us know how to, like, navigate in the world with, especially us, our group. Like, we know how to navigate in the world with a certain level of couth and movement. And even if somebody pisses us off in the world, we already know, like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you before I shoot your stupid ass, right? But with our kids, it's like, one, right, and not for us alone, but for humans, like our kids, one, they get us mad or they do something that's disrespectful in that joint. Like you said, the meter rises immediately. But there are people out there who, our kids are also subordinate to us, right? They're naturally submissive to us because they're not as strong. And so if you're not a person who knows how to, like, regulate, or if you're a person who has really bad habits that you haven't corrected, your kid's gonna catch all of that because there's nothing there to stop you.
Yeah.
There's nothing there to stop you in whatever emotional moment you're having from fully enacting that moment in your kids. And that's why I always say, like, kid, if you really truly love your kids, nothing truly raises a human being, a woman or a man, I would say, like having children. Because you have to strive to be the best version of yourself to even whoop that child and then feel that and be like, I'm gonna take a different approach. And I think that's how, I'm going on the hump of, but I think, like, as fathers, that maybe where some men struggle in terms of, like, how they may get abusive with their kids is because they don't have a sense of control over, how they respond, and they need to gain that.
yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Like, the fact that you felt that way is good. It's a good sign. I'm concerned if you have those kind of moments and feel nothing. You know, so that's a good
Yeah,
sign.
I mean, I would feel that way if that was my son, though. To be honest with you, it wouldn't matter.
I've been through it, my guy.
Yeah, like to me, I never come from that place where you gotta break somebody down. Like, and I
Yeah,
don't know if y'all can attest to that, but I that's what I stand on. Like, I don't
yeah.
believe in breaking nobody down.
Well, look, if I'm gonna tell a little bit about where I'm at right now, but maybe we circle. I heard you about to go into the boys thing.
No, you
I
go
ain't.
ahead. Yeah,
Well, no, I was gonna say is maybe we circle back for Patreon. One for check my niece. She might not
yeah,
want that
no,
on the
we can
main
do that.
episode. First of all, all
So,
right, and then and then I ain't even ready to hear it, man. I can't. I'm not looking forward to that age. But yeah, for me,
woo.
man, I got two major areas that's like a major focus in fatherhood right now. For time's sake, the one I'm gonna speak to is the one that aligns with education, because that's me. And I'm in the season with both of my kids actually, but the challenges are coming more on with the oldest one. But just advocating for them and their education, the frequent staying on top of them at home with the organization and the time management of schoolwork, and what it looks like to have to study sometimes, what it looks like to have to like that perseverance, like because now they're getting older, school is causing more challenges than it has before, right? So working through them at the home side, and then on the school side, advocating for them, emailing teachers, when they drop the ball, reaching out to the teachers, trying to work with them to pick up the pieces, stuff like that. And which that's typical. The balance for me, and this is the challenge coming for the older one, where and maybe y'all can give me some advice. On one side of the coin, like I'm not about to sit here and watch you crash out, right? Like I'm gonna make sure because you too smart not to be successful academically. Just because you keep forgetting to turn assignments in, or turn stuff later, miss stuff, like that's my biggest pet. Like it's right. I so before I let that happen, I'm gonna reach out to the teacher, whatever, right? But and on the other side of the coin, I don't want to enable you and you never learn, and then
Mm.
you 25 and you still dependent on people to pick up your pieces, right? Now, here's me taking some accountability. That was me growing up. Like if it wasn't for Beverly Renee Haynes, my mother, like staying on top of my schoolwork and staying on top of me, it's no way. And I'm talking about all the way through I can remember days in undergrad freshman year, her calling me like, "Hey, you got that test Friday. Don't stay out too late." Calling me in the morning, making sure I ain't miss my alarm, just like because I don't want you to fumble this bag and get this degree. And I don't want to have to do that for him, but I also don't want to sit here and let him fail now. And I don't. I just it's a little a game. I don't know what the middle ground is, man. So I don't know if y'all can relate, experience that. I got some
I'm
advice for me,
I'm
but
I'm picking on you, but I'm also not picking on you. You know, you kind of still like that now.
yeah.
Even at this age, you know that you tell us that all the time. Like even at this age, you still like I need accountability. Like I need all these checks and balances in place to be successful.
Mm.
And my question for you, my curiosity here is like, and especially as it relates to your son, is like my curiosity here is like, is that just who you are? And knowing yourself at this age is important so that you can have that community accountability, or are you like that because she did that?
That's a
Mm.
good question.
That's
I want to say that's just who I am, but then I'm like, or is that who I am because I was never allowed to be anything else? The best way I can answer that is just like here's what's been happening, right, as I'm growing and maturing.
mm.
Because where my mom dropped off when I got married, my wife picked up, right, in terms of holding me accountable. And every once in a while, my mom would still hit me up like, "Hey, don't forget," that's just the relationship we have. Um, but in growing up and manning up, I've had to recognize those things about myself and then create my own accountability through having systems and structures in place, alarms. I do this way every day at this time, and I need to stick to that, right? So I've learned to start having that self accountability. It's still not natural to me. I'm not just automatic like go with it. But if I create a process, that's me creating that balance point to stay in.
I'm glad you
Yeah,
said this. This reminds me of the statement like if you don't know where you from, then you don't know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? I'd be interested in hearing a conversation from you and your mom, right? Just talking about parenting and how parenting has shaped us and then how we parent. I'd be interested in hearing a conversation from your mom, or at least a response from you. If you went to your mom and said, "Mom, like, why'd you do this for me? Did you do this for me because you realized I was like this and I needed it, or is this who you are in terms of like I want to use the word micromanage, but I don't know if that's the correct term.
yeah, yeah.
Because then you might be able to see, like, dang, like, was she just being intentional about what she was doing for me? Or did she you know what I'm saying? She recognizing, like, this is who I am. And then she gave me an alternative parenting style. Or is my mom like,
Yeah.
and
Well, look,
because she's like
we
that,
got a
she
call
created
scheduled
this.
today, me and mom. So you might have gave us a conversation started. But yeah, you got my wheels turning, man. I'm like that even at work for my subordinates. Like I'll tell them like, hey, so like if it's like just for my to-do list, email me. But if you need a quick response, send me a text message. For fact, like I give them things to do to like, or I'll be like, hey, like if for that project that I oversee, but you're manning it, like feel free to boss me around. I'm a servant leader. Like Don't wait around looking for my support. If you need my support, let me know. Come to me directly. Tell me, like, remind me if I forgot to do something you asked me to do. Like, I tell my subordinates this at work.
I think I tell you, I want to be able to help you with the situation, and you should. That's a great question. I think when we think about accountability, we think of one thing we're accountable to, and then we call ourselves accountable. And I don't think that's fair, right? I don't think accountability is an umbrella of things. And so, Carl, I want to give you some credit. You're definitely accountable in certain areas, right? A lot more accountable in certain areas than some people are, including myself. And so, are we accountable in 100% of the things that we need to be accountable for? No. Is our children going to be accountable for 100% of the things they need to be accountable for? No. That's why you have community. That's why you have partnership. That's why you have the other half, right? Because you're never going to be 100% accountable to or disciplined or obedient to like what it is that this world is holding you accountable to. So I would say give yourself some grace, right? Give your kids some mercy, right? And know your child and help him be accountable in the areas that he's very good at being accountable at, because those are going to be the things that's going to help him be successful. And then the other parts, make sure he surround himself in the community that's going to hold him accountable to those things that he's not good at.
Yeah. I like the fact that you celebrated Colin, you know what I'm saying, and gave him space to celebrate his son. And still, I think this brings up an interesting topic as fathers. Like, when we see certain habits in our kids, do we accept that, hey, man, this is just the way my kid is? And then we provide, as you said, the community or the support to help them win despite them being this way, right? Or maybe not the word despite, but we provide them with the resources to be successful? Or do we watch that thing and be like, nah, I want to do something intentionally to change that behavior?
I've seen it as a coach so many times where um, in two different perspectives, where a father is trying to be everything to a kid, right? To hold him accountable to everything. And the father ain't really good at some of the stuff he's trying to hold him accountable to, right? I've seen parents who know that then say, yeah, I'm bringing them here to this program because I need them to a space and to help. So you understand what I'm saying? Like you can't do everything. You can't be the accountable partner for everything. That's why your wives, I'm talking about something else, need to be in another community, because you can't hold them accountable to some of this shit. So, I mean, we got to be conscious of when you say, I want my kid to be better at that, so I'm gonna be the one to push them in that, and you may not be the person to do that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, why pop baby girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why pop baby girl if the goal wasn't to change a behavior? Versus being like, I seen that behavior. Maybe, and then finding the good in that behavior and then being like, you know what, I ain't gonna try to change that behavior. I'm just gonna give them the support to navigate them to using that behavior in the correct way.
That's post. That's having hindsight, right? So that was a new experience for me, and I can give myself some grace and mercy and understand that was a new experience for me.
Yeah.
So I get the question why Popper, but in that moment, to Colin's point, right? You don't know. You don't know your reasoning and why sometimes, right? So that's why I think it's very good to be able to practice holding the emotions. But I didn't know. I was flawed in that moment.
Brother Sean, I value your advice in this area, just because you have a lot of you're going to see this through your lens, which is going to give me a different perspective, and because you have a lot of context for me and Cam, so that's why I want to hear your thoughts on this.
What's the question?
Just on how I better balance or go about like being an overbearing helicopter, overly, like, how do I grow him and not handicap him? That's the question. I don't want to be an enabler, but I also don't want to sit here and let him crash and burn.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should go all the way back to the origin, which I would be very curious, and you may not have the answer right now, but I would be very curious to hear what the answer is to what it is that you said about whether you feel like that is inherently who you are, or whether you feel like your mom developed that in you through how she parented, right? I think when you find the answer to that question, you're then going to be able to provide clarity to the way at which you parent can, because you understand the dynamic in how you were raised and how that created you. And then you can ask yourself, how do I want to develop Cam? Where do I
Yeah.
need to pull back and let him learn on his own, or fall, or have to learn to pick himself up, versus you potentially standing in the space of enabling it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what
Mm-hmm.
I will say, and just to breathe life into where you are, I mean, you are a great father. That's number one. You're a great husband. You're a great man, right? You
Appreciate
are
it.
you are intentional in loving on your family, and you support your children, right? In addition to that, you have children that have not only identified interests in their lives, but I would even gamble to say that those interests, if not already, will develop into gifts as well as a potential passion that they want to pursue, for a lifetime, right?
Yeah.
And so the beauty in that is that you already like can. There's some parents that still are waiting for their children to identify that. There's some adults that still haven't identified that. And so the fact that you have children that have already like started to walk down that path, all you got to do is just provide a little bit of light to that path. You don't have to keep them on
Mm-hmm.
the path. You don't have to put guardrails on the path. You don't have to walk for them, right? But if you continue to light that path, like
Yeah.
driving to Alabama for sports, you know what I mean? Like in a day, a turn and burn, bruh. Like things that
Yeah.
you've done, you're providing light to that path, and let them walk it.
I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that.
I
Yeah.
told you about a cry, Colin. That would have been a perfect moment. I think what we hear into, though, we kind of transition into our topic today with the question, like, do you believe in like old school parenting or gentle parenting? And I think we're really like defining it in a sense right now. Because what I'm hearing from us is, in a way, old school parenting was kind of like, yo, I see something I don't like, stop it. Stop right now. Don't do that. But new school parenting is kind of giving me the vibe that it's like, it's more like, I see that response. It looks like my child's a little passionate, or it looks like my child has a lot of things going on in their mind and they forget. And so gentle parenting might be like recognizing the good in the response, and then being able to coach your child or do things that, push your child to process how to use that thing in a good way. Because I'm pretty sure what Ali got out of his daughter was passion. It's like, all right, cool. How you responded ain't gonna work, but I like that passion. How do we get you to use that in a way that's going to be constructive for you, and put the right stimulants in place to drive you in that direction? Same with your child, Colin, and then same with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, versus old school, where old school is like, nah, I don't like it. Stop that shit right now.
Yeah.
I
One
didn't.
one other thing that I would add though, Colin, and this, I mean, this is for me, this is for everybody, right? What we all needed. But one thing that I would add is, if you could ask yourself the question of, what has my child identified, which is a lifetime skill or tool, right?
I
Not
got
the things that we don't use today. Like, I'm an engineer. I've taken all the way up to linear equations, differential equations, calculus 3. I don't use none of that stuff, right?
right.
But does your child know work ethic? Does your child know discipline? You know what I mean? Does your child know self accountability? Like, if you can look at those things, which I could say for my nephew with basketball, he has work ethic. That's a life skill, bruh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He loves it that much where it's in him, not on him, right? And if you can check those boxes by asking that question, I would say that your child is on an imperfect path in life, which is the right path, because none of us are perfect.
Yeah.
He's going to learn along the way.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. And to connect what you're saying and kind of where you just went, Yusha, it kind of goes back to when we were in the game and you brought up like Ali was asking like, what's the gentle part of the parenting? I think that's it, man. It's the good parts of the old school that are still important in terms of providing this structure and a firm like expectation, them perseverance skills. But then the nuance of the new school is that communication, man. That open back and forth to make sure you provide understanding, but to also seek to listen and understand the child in a way that, that we didn't have, man.
And now old school gave you communication. It was just why you was getting that ass whooping. Did
Right.
not tell your
Right.
ass you ain't heard
Right.
nothing.
It was hey, it was hooked on phonics discipline. Like it's gonna beat you gonna remember that. You're gonna hear this over and over.
And then it was
Nah,
shut up, stop crying before I give you something to cry about. Lord, I'm being
yeah.
traumatized. I was thinking,
Look, here's the new one. Here's the new one, right? And this this brings social media into it, but it's a whole other thing. But here's the new
oh
one, in a good way though, in communication. So my oldest Cam, he has an Instagram page. We've recently, like, they both have one that we own. We more recently, allowed him to like have it on his phone, but we also have like the parent access, so we see every message he sends and everything, so we could kind of monitor it, right? Um, but his new communication thing he does with us, where we have to join his world of social media, because he don't do nothing on there but send video back and forth, basketball, stuff like that. His friends might meet up Roblox on there to talk Roblox. He'll send me and Michelle, he'll send us like little memes or like TikTok videos and stuff. But it'd be like of stuff that he wants us to like understand them. Let me give an example. Yesterday he sent me one. Um, and it was a lady talking about giving advice to like how we got to give our kids some grace when they get home from school sometime. Like if your kids giving you a little attitude or acting like they don't really want to talk, or they just give you a little funk after school and you like pressing them out, looking at them crazy, right? You're not getting nothing. Like consider that what a day of school looks like and feels like for them. Like 7 classes a day. Everybody got different expectations. Sit here, do that. Control your emotions. You can't talk too much. No outlet here. Like all day long. And then like when they come home, like they might be a little exhausted. Like think about how you feel when you got a busy day full of meetings back to back and a bunch of deadlines and assignments, and like that's every day for them. And he sent that to me, and I was like almost like, damn, like is he trying to tell me that I be doing too much sometime when I come home? But I just love that he had that platform and that vehicle to be like, when I saw this, something in me made me want to send it to you, Dad. So now that I look at it, what do I do with that? Like, I bet. I just responded like I loved it. I was just like, I feel that. But maybe later on we'll have a conversation, But it's like, okay.
This the challenge. This is the exact challenge I feel like I'm dealing with in terms of what y'all just said, because there's so much confliction right now. Right. The question we had on the this or that was, would you rather social media be raise your kids, or would you rather raise your kids? In this situation, Colin, right? Nephew sends you a social media post that in hopes of describing what he is feeling, or right, in hopes of communicating to you, this is how I want to be treated. So like I'm sitting here hearing that, and I'm like, well, that isn't something that Colin doesn't already know. He's an educator. He knows what his child is. But here here's what I'm
Go ahead,
saying.
I'm hearing you out.
Here's me out. Hear me out. Like if a parent was having an issue, I'm pretty sure you could arise to the conclusion at some point in your career, if you haven't already, that they're coming home with a lot of work, right? Mm-hmm. And that X, Y, and Z, you should da 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 da. Here's where I'm saying social media comes in. It is you not being. It creates a blind spot, an unnecessary blind spot for you that you know is you know it, but because like social media exists in this world, right? It's the first person to teach your kid that, or it's the first person to expose your kid that, and he's using it. So I'm not saying this in a bad way, right? Mm-hmm. This is the problem I'm saying I'm conflicted with in this space, because social media creates placency. It creates like unintentions, right? Where like the kid is now being taught first initially about how his emotions is, and then like you now have to interpret that. it's just
Yeah,
it's
I
weird.
see what you're saying.
I don't know. I don't know if I would agree with what you just said from a standpoint of he's being taught his emotions. What I heard from what Colin was saying is that he identified with a post that communicated it in a way that he did not know how to communicate it. And
Mm,
because he heard it and it was articulated in a way that resonated with him, he wanted to share it with his father because if he was to have a voice to voice conversation, it may not have come out in the same way. But then the parenting part that still trumps social media raising your kid, you raising your kid, is Colin, what will you do with that post once you receive it from him? What
mm.
communication comes after that? That's the parenting part.
So here's the trigger for that, right? Um, I was doing in a professional development one time with this doctor around psychology who was talking to teachers about their own stress levels. But what she was breaking down for us scientifically, and Colin may know this, right, being in the science world, is that the difference between bad stress and good stress, right? And bad stress is the stuff that tears your body up, it tears you down. Good stress is the stress that actually helps you grow and become. The difference between bad stress and good stress is perception. It ain't the actual stress. You see what I'm saying? It's how you perceive the stress. And so if the son is getting this information from social media that's saying, hey, this day that you just went through is stressful. It should shut you down. It's okay if it shuts you down. Then it's giving him a perception that you come through 7 courses and you can't go do this. When we came from an era where we didn't have that. So we were only getting what our parents gave us. And most of us, we went through that same day and still went to sports. And then some of us still went to work after that. You see what I'm
So,
saying? Like,
and I don't disagree.
But was that healthy?
But listen,
shit, it was for me.
I don't disagree with what Sean is saying. The confliction is what I'm in it is the interpretation that you now as a parent have to figure out what to interpret. For example, if the person said they resonated with something that changes their gender or what they like or what they going to, right? And they resonate with it. They think they resonate with it or they feel like they resonate with it, right? You now have to interpret it versus maybe it not being there and you having that conversation because you already know you've been through that 20 years ago. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Like
got what you're saying. I got what you're saying.
it's a
I
conflict.
even heard you when you was like, but you know this already, and I was like, yeah, but I got blind spots with my own kids, and then my eyes are open, I'm like, dang, I knew that though. Like, why did I miss that with my own? Um, but yeah, I see that side, and that's the balance in that with
Yeah.
this exposure. I think we're never. It's no playbook for this, man. Like. Because we can't even. So what was that? This or that question? Like, would you rather raise your kids in today or in the back history? I pick old school because it's like at least we know what it is, and we can like. But like every generation, we're raising our child in a different setting than our parents did. So it's like you can kind of take from what they did, but not really because they ain't have these things that our kids have. We ain't have. So it's no playbook. I think the best we could do is kind of share stories and communicate like this to learn from each other. But we all kind of building this plane on the runway and trial and error and figuring it out. I think the best thing I'm doing right now, if I can give any advice to anybody, is like specifically to social media, but anything that you could replace social media with is like treat that thing like a car, man. Like you're not gonna give a 10-year-old keys to the Tahoe, right? But eventually they're gonna have keys to the Tahoe. But you got to gradual release that thing, man. Like
Yeah,
what are the baby steps to that? So specifically to social media, like first you have a page, but you don't have access to it. You can only post through us. Like then later on, it was just like, okay, we're gonna give you this, but we have access to everything you have access to. So we see everything you're doing on here. Give us an opportunity to even coach you. We've had to have coaching conversations on stuff that's shown up in DMs with him from friends and friend groups. But not tripping, like that's your life, but like, hey, so how you let me talk to you how you know what I'm saying? So
I mean, I'm hearing a common theme throughout all of this, and the common theme that I'm hearing is like, so going back to what Ali was saying as far as interpreting, right? Let's replace interpreting with perception. What I truly believe in any relationship, whether it is a marital relationship or a relationship even with your kids, is that the goal is for perception and the intention to run parallel. Anytime that is perpendicular and they're clashing, it creates an issue. And so how do you get the intention and the perception to run parallel? The way that you do that is through communication, right? And so there can be an intention through sending that social media, whatever it is, even if it's about the mixed, the gender identity, this, that, and the third, right? The intention could be one thing. Your perception could be another thing. However, in order to get those to run parallel, you have to communicate, right? And so it's just important to communicate. In addition to understanding that, you know, God is the source, right? We have resources, but God is the source. So tying it into parenting, we were blessed by God to be the parents of our children. It's important for us to always stand in the place of being the source when it comes to parenting and how our children are parented.
Yeah.
Social media can be a resource, but we are the source. Again, communication, right? So using those as tools along the way, but communicating constantly with your child and being the source of how they're parented.
Yeah, perception and
Yeah.
intention, and not only communicate between those gaps and lines, but at some point there has to be an action that brings those two together for it to like be in sync. So there has to be an action as well as the communication. I wanna note something here that we probably need to talk about in the next episode because it is very real. It's
We got
not going to be.
Patreon still too.
Yeah, but it's not even a Patreon episode, to be honest with you. It's the fact that like you're going to be fathering through AI, not social media.
We are building bionic
And,
kids.
and I'm telling you all, right, your kids are asking AI questions that you might want to check. So be careful giving them access to AI as well. So I just want to make sure.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, but I was about to bring that up too, but I said that's a worm.
That's a whole. That's what I'm saying. It's a whole nother episode, y'all, for real.
Interesting. Well, look, on that note, hey, maybe a part 2, maybe on some of our, you know, we got a couple other little series we've been working on. We might do something on that while we're still in Father's Day. On that note, I don't think we said it yet, but happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. You know, that are doing a great job, and all the father figures out there. Hey, so you know, we getting ready to transition here in a minute, but for my Patreon folks, you already know what it is. We got something extra for you all. Cause Ali, hey, you brought up something earlier. I got questions about this dating thing with these girls, and you brought up that gender stuff. Man, it's a couple other little things we can continue the conversation on for our Patreon folks. But first, we gotta work and win, right?
Now, let's get into working and winning because that's where we drop our jewels. Remember, working and winning, if you woke up this morning, if you can see, hear, smell, taste, and feel, then your body works. If your body works, you got everything you need to win. So this is where we not only tell you what we're working on, but we also give you some little food for thought, something you can take to help you win, you know, for your coming days. So let's jump into it. We're going to popcorn and pass. Let's go. I love your energy right now, Ali. You got the smiles on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
You got working and winning.
Cause my work ain't changed, dog. It's I'm telling y'all, the economy is still what it is today. It's still what we need to find out in terms of how we can get to our financial freedom. And so your boy's still working on making sure that the financial plan is still in play. I'm still I'm halfway through my book on You Deserve to Be Rich. And the girls, they're working in terms of their investments. So we're just working at just trying to make sure we maintain in this environment, make sure we understand the play that the administrations are doing, right? Because 4 years from now, right, we gonna be in a different place, and that's just the reality of it, right? And so I'm just locked in on my finances. The win, I think y'all heard me talk about fatherhood and just, you know, dealing with my daughters. My win right now is that I'm learning to be very patient with my kids and the women in my family, including my mom and my mother-in-law, and showing my mom and my mother-in-law grace and mercy is allowing my kids and my family to have the same grace and mercy with each other. And so I am learning to be a little more graceful and mercy in my approach to stuff. So yeah, working and winning, man. Things are good right now. I'm gonna pass it to Sean.
Work. My work, which could also be seen as a win, but I'm gonna provide another win. My work is faith, the faith walk. Just delving into faith in a deeper sense, and truly beginning to understand the depths of faith has been my work. I've been in a season where I believe that I've been in a Job season, for those who understand that. If you don't, maybe that could be work for you. However, what I've been doing is I've been continuing to shine light. I've been continuing to proclaim my faith. I've been continuing to speak about the goodness of God. And it has really been proven to be a blessing in so many ways. I've been able to find the silver lining, and despite that, right? However, for those that truly understand faith, faith without works is dead. The work is the exercise of faith. How do you show up when you're dealing with whatever it is that you're dealing with, when life is lifing, quote unquote, right? And it hurts. It really hurts. It's like picking up your cross every single day and walking, right? To be crucified, but you're picking up your cross you make that intentional choice. And so that's my work. But I'm also winning because I'm able to find the silver lining in that, and still speak about the goodness of God in my life, and still be able to bless others through that. My win, I'm gonna bring it back to the conversation that we was having, and tying it into the resources, utilizing the resources just like the phone, right? So I've been intentional in sitting down with my kids a lot more. They just recently came from a youth retreat with the church. They had a pamphlet where they had writing prompts, and even though they did not necessarily, I guess, even expect it, but they didn't want to, they expressed some discontent in me sitting down and really unpacking their writing prompts, even getting them to go back and delve a little bit deeper and expounding on what their responses to those questions were, right? Now, it is going to take some time to continue to develop that and strengthen that muscle where they get to a point where it becomes a lifestyle for them, and then they don't have a discontent because they already know what it is, right? But I've been doing that. Now, the resource that I'm talking about is, and this is for everybody out there that are parents, specifically my men, utilize the ability to be able to set a timer for sending text messages, right? Yep. Set a timer to tell your kids, I love you. You know what I mean? Utilize the ability to be able to send a video and text that to them and ask that they send a video back. And now y'all having a face-to-face conversation when they're not with you, and you're asking them how they're doing. You're asking them how they feel. Now you're able to see their face. You're able to hear the inflections in their voice, rather than just what my kids do a lot is fine, good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, begin to mature and grow, maturate in how you parent by utilizing these resources that we do have every single day that we use for other things.
Yeah.
Let me pass it to, I was gonna make a joke. Let me pass it to Yusha.
I felt the Masego coming on. I just
I was about to call you Salmon Cake, but let me go ahead.
Wow.
Hey.
With that shirt.
That was a pause, mama. That's a pause.
Go ahead, Salmon Cake. What's your working and what?
Y'all trying to make me bring Paul's out of retirement. I'm trying to leave retirement.
Right. This thing referred to me as cakes.
Nah, Salmon Cake. Go ahead, Salmon Cake.
Hey,
you know what that made me think about on the Martin episode when he was like, I'm gonna call you Almond, because you so almondy.
What's the Jamaican joint? Almond. You not drink no almond milk? What? Oh, dog. All right, I'm gonna go. Salmon Cake, boy. That's bring it out, Connor. Go ahead.
It's trying to leave it in retirement 2025, man.
Man, listen, it's June. You know what I'm saying? June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and a lot of the work that I'm doing right now, even through us, through what we all needed, is we making space for men, right? And so I just want to highlight us and our pillars, which is friendship, growth, healing, transparency. I'm missing one. Healing, growth, accountability. And then we talked about in our retreat having an inclusive measure around these two, which was safety and vulnerability as well. But that's the work we doing, right? And I want to highlight us and the work we doing around just helping men and creating a space for us. And so I do a lot of work behind the scenes, especially in terms of just making sure, like my job as a creative director is to make sure we get in the direction that we need to go. And I'm really intently focused right now on just like making sure that our content is there, that we're dropping something every day and that we're posting and commenting on that and just getting better at how we translate this to y'all. So that's the work I'm doing. The win here, the win that I want to give y'all, the win that I want to express to y'all is that many of us are trying to improve. We're trying to get to a better version of ourselves. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're building community. That's why we listen to podcasts, read books, etc. And so what I want to encourage, what I asked my therapist the other day is like, how does a person make a change that sticks? And she put the question back on me, which was good. But what I do know is that you are what you eat, right? Whatever you put in you comes out of you. And a lot of times the changes that stimulate growth points for us, when we make changes or we do certain things to stimulate growth, we do that based off something we've read, experienced, or consumed. And so what I'm reminding myself is that the real key to keeping sustainable change is to keep consuming the things that are pushing those habits or pushing those things in place. And so if Ali is reading a book, You Deserve to Be Rich, right? Ali can't read that book one time, take the principles from that, and then put that into his habit for a month, right? But what I also know is that if Ali don't read that book again or don't revisit that same knowledge, he'll naturally fall back into what he has been, brought up to do. And so to keep his change, he not only gonna have to maybe revisit that book once a year, but he's gonna have to have other knowledge that reinforces what's in there, so it'll stay on his mind to be diligent to put those new habits in place. So my win for y'all is be consistent in what you consume, so that the things that you consume can naturally feed your change of behavior.
That's real.
Colin, it's on you.
My turn. I'll be brief, man. The work, similar to Sean, is I'm still in, I don't even want to call it a realignment, but yeah, maybe a realignment and a transitional season in my faith walk. Realignment just in the spirit of getting back in the gym, slowing life down, resetting to stay connected and being intentional about being connected with the God within me. But transition in that, I just feel like I'm in that season where I'm getting to another level of understanding, or a different level of understanding in my relationship with God, right? So that's the work right now. The win, similarly connected to spirituality and connected to fatherhood, is that recently, both of my kids, but especially my son, has expressed a lot more curiosity and interest in his own relationship with God, which is a new thing that I want to not get in the way of, but also kind of nurture. And what was the analogy I gave earlier? Like just kind of shine lights down that pathway. So it was a book that I gave him, just like read that on your leisure. He's been picking up and reading it and kind of exploring that. And he also expressed that not only does he want to get baptized, but I asked him to explain what that means to him, and he gave a very accurate explanation, which tells me okay, he's really ready. So we gotta get that scheduled for him. So I'll let y'all know when that's happening, man. But that's
the
the
book.
one.
Can we get the resource on the book?
Yeah. My guy. My guy. His name is escaping me right now. The Basement. Welcome to the Basement is the name of the book. What's the guy? The Basement Podcast.
Welcome to the Basement.
The preacher with the glasses.
Oh,
it's killing
I
me.
know exactly who you're talking about.
Tim Ross. There you go. Oh, my bad.
Yep.
My bad. Yeah, my guy Tim Ross, man. Welcome to the Basement. I think it's when I read it for myself, I had a couple different visions in my mind, but one of them was this would be a good book to read for somebody new to faith or kind of interested in that. And I was like, and so when my son started talking, I was like, hey, here's this bookmark. You know, and it's been on his nightstand, and every once in a while I'll be looking at the bookmark and I'm like, oh yeah, he reads it. He's getting through it.
Well, look, good working and winning segment. Yeah, we know we got more stuff coming on Patreon, and we're going to get there. We're going to talk about some stuff. But let's pray it out over here. Good talk, fellas. Good talk. Who got prayer?
I'll pray.
Oh, right.
All right. All hearts and minds clear. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today giving you thanks. We want to thank you for yet providing us with another day to be able to live, to breathe, to see another day on your earth. We thank you for providing us with not only this community, but this opportunity to be able to breathe life into how we should live as parents. We ask that there is something that resonates within the hearts and minds of those who are able to hear this message so that they can hold true to not only you as the source, but tools and resources along the way that will help to refine their parenting. We understand that iron sharpens iron, and may this platform be used as just that so that we can strengthen our community, strengthen your children, and strengthen this world. So in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Competition, boy, I know your strengths. I can star on your team, play support on your bench. I'ma rock with you forever, bro. That's what makes sense. You know, been tested. You showed up in the trench. Ain't no fake love between us, cause we don't get at an inch. Peace king for life. That's how we work and we win. Real friends. Real friends. Where would I be without my Hey son, who gon' ride for me like my day one?